Hi everyone, my name is Joanna. I'm a researcher at the Centre for Substance Use Research in Glasgow in the United Kingdom. And today I'll be talking to you about a study that we at the Centre are hoping to start next month. It's a study that will look at smoking absence rates associated with 90-day ad libitum use of a specific type of electronic cigarette with and without additional support from experienced vapers. And because the study hasn't started yet, today I'll be talking to you about the rationale. So why are we conducting the study, how we will conduct the study, and what we're hoping to find out in the process. So smoking still remains the #1 preventable cause of death. And it has been suggested that the health and life expectancy of today's smokers could be dramatically improved if only they switched from using traditional cigarettes to using other sources of nicotine, ones that are smoke-free. And it's also been suggested that potentially chances of smokers who successfully switching from using cigarettes to using other products, such as electronic cigarettes, could be further improved if these smokers had additional behavioral support. So with those two suggestions in mind, it is vital that individuals that are best qualified to inform, advise, encourage, and support smokers in switching from smoking to vaping are identified. The vaping community, especially in the United Kingdom, is continuously growing, and these people provide a very unique resource. They're a group of people that are very uniquely experienced and knowledgeable in what it feels like to be a vapor, about the true nature and character of vaping, and they could be uniquely qualified in advising, informing, and motivating current smokers who want to switch from smoking to vaping. And we think that perhaps the best way to understand the process of switching from smoking to vaping is to ask somebody who's been through it themselves, so an established switcher. We also believe that harm reduction is already being driven by millions of peer learning interactions between smokers and vapers. And we, in this study, are hoping to find out if having this additional resource, so this interaction between smokers and vapers, could significantly increase chances of people who want to switch from smoking to vaping. So we are hoping to begin the study in early August of this year. We are hoping to recruit 2 groups of people. We'll recruit switchers who are current smokers who are dependent on nicotine, who have an intention to quit smoking in the next 6 months and who are willing to try an electronic cigarette to help them from switching from smoking to vaping. We also require that these participants don't use any other sources of tobacco or nicotine, or are not using any sub-smoking medication at the time of the study. And we'll also be recruiting 20 switching mentors. So these are former smokers who have managed to successfully quit smoking using electronic cigarettes, haven't smoked in the past 6 months at least, and are currently daily or almost daily vapers. So all switchers will be assigned to try using a specific type of electronic cigarette. It's an open system electronic cigarette, so the one that you can refill with the e-liquid. And we are using the Blu PRO electronic cigarette, which is commercially readily available within the United Kingdom. We'll be asking switchers to try using this electronic cigarette for 3 months. And we'll be asking them to try using an e-liquid that's compatible with that specific electronic cigarette. So it's a blue liquid, again, commercially available throughout the UK. And also half of the switchers will also be receiving 30 days of community-based behavioral support from 20 switching mentors that we are also recruiting. So this is just an illustration of the kit. So this is the Blu PRO electronic cigarette atomizer and charger, which all participants will be receiving. And onto the left side, you can see the different flavor combinations. I should have said they are available in 5 flavors and 3 strengths of nicotine, and together they make 9 combinations of flavor strength. And in the table, you can see which flavors are available in which strengths. In terms of the procedure for the switchers, the study is designed to replicate sort of real-life situations as closely as possible. So we're trying to make these participants experience what it feels like to be a vapor in the real life. They'll receive the Blu PRO Kit and also 3 10-milliliter refill bottles at the beginning of the study. They will have a chance to sample all of the 9 flavor strength combinations of liquid to try to pick a liquid that they feel they are most likely to stick with for the duration of the study. And we'll encourage the switchers to use the electronic cigarette for the 3 months, but smoking is not strictly prohibited. So if they, of course we would hope they don't smoke, but if they choose to keep on smoking throughout the study, this is not grounds for exclusion. If anything, it's also an interesting finding in itself to see how many people having this additional resource of electronic cigarette and the mentoring continue to keep smoking anyway. The switchers will be encouraged to use the electronic cigarette ad libitum, so that just means freely whenever they feel the need to, or as much or as little as they desire. Again, to sort of keep with the naturalistic, real-life element to the study, when the free e-liquids are gone, that they will receive for free at the beginning of the study, they will be asked to purchase the liquids themselves, either from local vendors or online. And that's just to show them what it feels like to be a vapor if they were to continue doing that after the study. Having said that, they will be reimbursed for the value of £30 per month for the purchase of the blue e-liquids. The switchers will also be told that they are free to change the liquid flavor and nicotine strength anytime they want at any point, again, to keep on with the realistic, naturalistic nature of the study. And use of other electronic cigarettes, other brands, or other brands of liquids is not prohibited again, so if they choose to do so, that's absolutely fine. However, we'll not be reimbursing them for that. In terms of the contact between the switchers and the mentors, again, this is something that is up to them, so they can have as little or as much contact with the mentors as they wish. It's kind of like having a helpline, a quit line, so it's a resource that's there for them if they choose to do it, and if they don't, then that's fine, that's just what they choose to do. But the mentors are meant to be available to switchers by phone and email, and that's for the first 30 days of the study, and that's because we feel like this is a time during the study that the switchers might be most likely needing the support, encouragement and advice, and might have specific questions on how to use the electronic cigarettes because they won't have been experienced in using them. And the only requirement to be included in the final data analysis for the switchers is that they complete online questionnaires about their past 30-day cigarette and e-cigarette use on days 30, 60 and 90, so that's after 1 month, 2 months and 3 months of the study. The procedure for the mentors, their role is to provide advice, information, and motivational support upon request. They will not be instructed how to advise the switchers or what kind of information they should be giving. So the content of advice and information is decided by each of the mentors, and it's tailored to the specific needs of the switcher. However, the mentors will be required to be available between on phone and email between the hours of 9 a.m. 9 p.m. During working days, so Monday to Friday, and they'll be asked to try to reply to each of the queries within 24 hours. And mentors will also be required to complete online questionnaires, but these will be about the nature and content of their interactions with the switchers, and again, they'll be done on days 30, 60, and 90 of the study. So in terms of outcomes, we are interested in the past 30-day point prevalence smoking abstinence at day 30, 60, and 90. That's both between groups and within groups. So we're going to be comparing the group that received the electronic cigarette only and the group that had the electronic cigarette and the option to use the mentoring support. But we'll also be looking at each of the groups separately and see if there's any changes in smoking abstinence across the time points. We'll also be looking at the change in daily cigarette consumption across assessments, again between and within groups. We'll be looking at the switchers' use and acceptance of the electronic cigarette and the e-liquids across assessments. And we'll be looking at switchers' use and perceived helpfulness of the interactions they have with the mentors. And lastly, we'll be looking at the types of advice and information given by switching mentors, some of a qualitative aspect here. So what will this study add? We're hoping to shed light on the switching rate in close to naturalistic conditions characterized by ad lib use of an electronic cigarette, freedom to change flavors and nicotine strengths as required, and minimal experimental involvement, so participants will just go about their usual day. We're also hoping to find out about the incremental rate of switching from smoking to vaping associated with interactions with switching mentors, and find out more about smokers' willingness to interact with experienced vapers when attempting to switch from smoking to vaping, and what they gain from these interactions. And lastly, we're hoping to find out about vapers' willingness to help smokers switch and what they give to these interactions. Thank you so much for listening. That's me done. Thank you.